Hey y'all, Monk Joseph here with the Broken Buddha. Today we're going to do a video on child abuse awareness. It's a pretty serious pandemic, I believe, in this country. I think a lot of child abuse, from what I've seen, goes overlooked, mostly because parents don't listen, authorities don't listen, and adults that can do something don't do something, either out of fear or just general ignorance. So let's try to fix that a little bit. All right. So first, we'll start. Everybody knows somebody who either has been abused, or maybe you or yourself have been abused. I will get into my story in a moment. Uh, you just gotta really pay attention. Know the symptoms, like you'll see it. These are all things you can Google. Um, Google a child abuse hotline. Keep it in your phone in case you see something crazy out on the street. At least you can try to help a child who's probably being assaulted every day, possibly. Maybe multiple times a day. You really don't know the extent of somebody's what they're going through, and it gets probably more extreme than you're comfortable knowing in this country, even. So, all right. That being said, it's a scary thing to have to call Child Protective Services on somebody or to call the authorities on somebody. Even for a martial arts instructor, it's a little unnerving. You may think it's not your place. You might think you don't know what you saw. Whatever excuse you're making in your mind is not, I guarantee you're not experiencing as much discomfort or fear as that child is. Again, daily, maybe multiple times daily. Who knows? Anywho, so that being said, let's move on into my story. This is why I wanted to bring this on here is really just to get people to understand what somebody experiences and also to really get you to pay attention. That's the biggest whole point of this. No matter how long I talk for, it won't be that long, probably like 10 minutes or so. But pay attention. Pay attention to the children around you. Pay attention to what's happening. The parents may say, "Oh, he's just nervous. He has this problem." Oh, they just say that sometimes. They just like to say that they get hit, stuff like that. Who cares? Like you're either looking out for kids or you're not. What kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person that looks out for the kids in your neighborhood, community, and life, or are you not? That's up to you. You gotta knuckle up and do what you do. All right. So here we go. Um, my situation started when I was in around kindergarten. I had a it didn't start off very abusive, but that's usually from what I can see and hear how it goes. It started off like lightly abusive. It didn't really get bad until like elementary school. I did try to tell people around me. My brothers tried to tell people around us. I'm not going to diagnose anybody here because that's not what this is for. But for whatever reason, my mother could not hear us telling her that somebody was hitting us for no reason and breaking the rules. She would just both make her own excuses and reiterate his excuses. Um, but I do know for a fact that my oldest brother did try to call for help multiple times, and I was told that nobody in the family could do anything about it. Um, I know myself told my mother and other people that I was being hit for no reason, and they would either just kind of turn a blind eye and make an excuse that at this time doesn't make sense, or like in my mother's case, she would just reiterate what she was told, even though I was telling her to her face, I'm being hurt. Um, and this man is breaking rules and hurting me for no reason. And to this day, we're 30 plus years later, she still makes a new excuse whenever the old one kind of like goes away, because at first it was, I didn't know what I was talking about because I was a child. Well, I'm 39 and have traveled the world, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And then it became, she thought I was slow, and then it became, I have a behavioral disorder. And to this day, it's just kind of like, spirals and goes in a cycle of that kind of thinking. To this day, they still act like this and they still act the exact same way about it. So, just because you see somebody has two parents doesn't mean those two parents care about them or know how to care about them. I shouldn't say it quite that negatively. Like I said, I don't understand why a person can't hear somebody. When a child says you're hurting me, most humans will stop and say, well, what was I, how can I, in themselves, like how can I prevent that from hurting this child in the future? you're not gonna negotiate with a child that you just, manipulate them into convincing them that you didn't just hurt them. And that's what I'm talking about. I know gaslighting is a big thing that people talk about these days, but you guys have no idea. I mean, I remember I'd just be sitting playing with toys and then grabbed up, hit until I broke out in tears, and then what did I do? You weren't listening, or I'd get accused for something I didn't do, and then I would try to defend myself and say I didn't hear you, or um, I didn't do that, and then grab and hit again until I hit a different severity of being hysterically upset, and then told again, what did I do? You're lying, and then this would go on. This cycle would happen. Who knows how many times until I got sent to my room, and then my mother would come home, and I'd tell her, hey, I got hit for no reason. And it would just, she would say, you got hit because you weren't listening in line. I'd say, Mom, I didn't do that. So, and this wasn't like a one-time event. This is the echoing of my childhood from like ages 6 to 12. So, and that's what it took to really break me down to a point where I have such a low point of functionality that I'm making this video. I mean, if you're watching this video, there's a very good chance you have higher functionality in society and life than I do. I can do all the kung fu and qigong in the world, but I cannot function in society the way you do. Like, I don't have issues confrontationally or emotionally. I can't emotionally handle the things that you can, that you think are like normal, simple things. But I can emotionally handle, all the kung fu of 6 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours a day. It doesn't bother me at all. All right. So, life is balanced, I guess, to some extent. So you really just got to listen. The kids will tell you how they feel, what's going on. You just got to listen. And there were signs. This wasn't just me. I for some reason, we all were there when my brother got his head put in the toilet, and everybody just kept eating dinner like nothing happened. Because I mean, personally, I was terrified, but I don't know everybody else's excuse. But yeah, you just got to pay attention. Listen to the kids, know what to do, have the nerve to stand up. Like, oh no, I'm a little nervous, I gotta call CPS, I might feel sad for 3 seconds, versus a child that's not going to be able to function in society and have to dodge all the morbidity and depression and anxiety that comes with that. I mean, I am to an extent as good as one can be expected to be in this state. I know a lot of people like myself who didn't make it, because families like mine will bond together in their sickness and just really expound upon it. And we'll just take one person and really just like, every problem in our family is that guy's problem. It's his fault. And that's not how a family works. We all contribute into the family. And what brought all this about was I wanted my family to deal with these things as a family and come together and be stronger. And man, it was the wrong choice. And actually, I shouldn't say that they always, were dumping on me as of more recently. It wasn't until I tried to talk about the abuse and my stepdad freaked out, lied about it. My mother did what she always does and just agreed with him and pretended like it didn't happen. And I'm about to walk across the country and spread awareness for child abuse and a few other causes, and teach kung fu and meditation, because that's pretty much all I can really think of to try to really contribute back to these issues within our society, and to try to help spread and build community. So not just walk. I'm sure I'm gonna other modes of transportation, but mostly walking, because I want to be able to really help people and as many stops as I possibly can. So, but yeah, this is my my child abuse awareness thing. Listen, it's really not worth overlooking for them. Maybe it is for you, but you got to think about the child. The children are our future. You want to have a strong future, we need strong children. We need to protect them from emotionally out of control adults that just need help. I'm not saying we need to demonize or bastardize everybody. Let's get these people help. Let's teach them how to meditate, so then really get them interactive in their community. Even not even meditation, get them in a soup kitchen, get them doing something. Like, try to offer something for these people to do to benefit the community, instead of destroying a child that's gonna not contribute to the community in the future. So just keep that in mind. Listen out, pay attention. These issues don't stop when the abuse stops. This all got carried on. My brothers used to have a good time trickling down the abuse to me, and just having a good old time, just making me cry whenever they wanted to. Like, they'd get, I guess, upset with the abuse and come looking for me, and then it was their turn to abuse me, and then the bullies would find me, and everybody would just kind of tell me it was my fault somehow. And for my brother's sake, they would obviously bribe me not to say anything, which set me up for bullies to be able to do the same thing when I was in like middle school and high school. And again, I became really good at kung fu and qigong out of it. But I mean, man, like the cost was very, very, very heavy, and a lot of you don't understand the degree of which a person can suffer without anybody noticing. Like, I know I was not the only child in hell that nobody noticed, and I know I'm not the only child in hell right now that nobody's noticing. Um, yeah, hell hath no equal to my childhood, and I say that with a strong, confident stance. Um, it's all pretty much downhill from here, and after this realization. So I will continue to try to work things out with my family with low hope. They like believing whatever it is that they believe. Um, at this point, I kind of just want to let sleeping dogs lie, because I don't want them to suffer. I mean, geez, I can't complain about my suffering and then push them out of their comfort spot and little safe place that they've got. So, I mean, I can only try to do pieces and stuff. And really, that's again why I'm walking across the country, because I can't, it's the only thing I can possibly think of to do to help as many children as possible to prevent abuse, is to just spread awareness, teach, meditation, so people can fix themselves emotionally, teach kung fu so people can protect themselves physically if need be, and just teach fitness so people can be healthy and just enjoy life. So that's what I got for you. Pay attention to the kids in your life. Call for help if you see somebody who can't or doesn't know that they can. Tell people who you may need to know hear this or see this. Maybe your kid's trying to tell you that you're hurting them and you're not listening, and this is the time to listen. Maybe your friend's complaining about their kid, and you're just like, it's just chatter to you, but they're talking about how they got to beat their kid every day and they're validating it through you. Listen, tell them that's not okay to beat the crap out of their kid, because, they threw your shoe, whatever. I don't know, whatever a kid would do that you think is okay to assault somebody over. I mean, it's not okay to assault anybody in society unless it's a child that is legally in your custody, and then it's okay to do whatever. I mean, I've worked in child abuse organizations, and the law is really flimsy. You have no idea what people can get away with. It is crazy. I mean, yeah, I don't want to get into it because it might give a really bad person an idea. So, yeah, look into it yourself. Be aware. Protect the children. They are our future. We need to keep them strong so that we can have a stronger future for everybody. When we're gone, and that's the point. Confucius' wishes were to have his friends trust him, to have the elderly have a peaceful living, and to be sure that the children were taken care of. Sorry, I forgot that one, but I just felt the necessity to quote Confucius there, because it's something I try to think about on a regular basis. Have your friends trust you, the elderly should have peaceful lives, and children should be taken care of. So we're covering number 3 here. Elderly should, if anybody's elderly here, please go look at my Qigong videos so you can have a little more of a peaceful life. And yeah, my friends will get to me, whatever. All right, so everybody have a great day. Again, yeah, keep an eye out, listen, do the right thing, don't be a wuss, stand up for what's right, yeah, you're the strong one, you're the adult, act like an adult. All right, so thanks for stopping by. I'll have some more positive videos for you coming out soon, and yeah, peace and blessings.